Ripple might already be closer to a bank than many people might think. Guys, Ripple just landed a blockbuster new deal that, in my opinion, is going to pave the way for Ripple's success moving forward. In this video, I want to talk about this new deal that Ripple just landed, as well as talk about the XRP price chart as well. Make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Things are getting very exciting. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you have any good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange upload down in the description of this video. With that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I want to jump into the video and talk about this brand new deal Ripple just landed. Guys, this is extremely interesting. We all know that Ripple just applied to be a nationally chartered bank, and this would put Ripple next to people like JP Morgan, BlackRock, and Bank of America in terms of being able to access a Federal Reserve master account. Now, the real reason that is so important is because it allows Ripple to onboard US dollars directly to the cryptocurrency industry. One of the biggest problems that not a lot of people know about right now, because they mostly deal on a retail level, is getting money into the cryptocurrency industry is not easy. If you're any kind of large institutional player and you want to onboard dollars directly into the cryptocurrency industry, ultimately you are going to need a bank. And for the longest time, banks really choked off the cryptocurrency industry, and it made it really hard to get any significant amount of capital into the cryptocurrency market. But by Ripple becoming a bank, they will be able to directly onboard people directly to blockchain technology with the ultimate confidence, because their bank accounts would be backed by the Federal Reserve. Now, that is going to be ultimately a huge addition for Ripple moving forward. But it looks like Ripple is already starting to take on some of these activities. What we just learned is ahead of Gemini's IPO, they are actually going to be taking out a line of credit with Ripple for $5 million increments up to $75 to $150 million. Now, this is extremely interesting because this is the early stages of Ripple already acting as a bank and taking on some of these large-scale corporate banking activities. Now, this really puts Ripple in a position as almost like a lender of last resort, or a cryptocurrency specialist acting as sort of a BlackRock institution in the middle of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. This deep financial player who has all this money, all of these connections, and has the power to move massive blocks of liquidity or finance large dollar lending. This is extremely interesting to see because it goes directly in the same direction as Ripple was already pushing with these different bank licenses. And now what we see is Ripple's already taking on some of that activity. With the acquisition of Hidden Road and being a prime broker, Ripple is really positioned in a very interesting place to be that financial conglomerate of the cryptocurrency industry and really step into a BlackRock-like role for this new evolving asset class. This is something that I find extremely exciting. For the longest time, Ripple made a lot of headway with the traditional financial system, but the cryptocurrency industry was so segmented and tribal, it didn't seem like Ripple was really getting a lot of cryptocurrency deal flow. But if we continue to see Ripple act as the financial backbone for the cryptocurrency industry and back large projects like this, it is going to position them as a critical piece of cryptocurrency infrastructure and acting as a quasi-like bank for the next generation financial system. This is something I find extremely exciting. It opens up an avenue for Ripple that honestly I had not really explored that much, but it could be a huge one and make Ripple one of the most important players in cryptocurrency by far. With that said, though, I want to talk about the price action because a lot of people are seeing this news and saying, when is this going to impact the price? What is the price of XRP going to do because of this? And guys, one of the things that's always important to know in regards to price is price really moves whenever it wants to move. I remember there's a whole bunch of extremely bullish news all through 2018, through 2024 really, and people were always wondering, why isn't this affecting the price? Then out of nowhere in November of 2024, 2025, the price just started ripping seemingly on no news. That alone should prove to you that no news alone is not what controls these markets. Instead, there's large institutional investors on the back end who have the capability to swing these markets and move them in the directions that we're seeing right now. But that doesn't always come off news. For the vast majority of the case, in my opinion, it comes well before news. People understand where these things are going to be headed. Then what happens is the price goes up significantly. Then news comes out and everyone sees the news and they're like, why isn't this affecting the price? Well, the fact of the matter is it probably already did. With that said, though, I want to take a look at the XRP price chart and see that right now we are putting in a very interesting formation. We are putting in a consolidated triangle right at the all-time high. Now, this has been playing out for about 2 months now, and I think XRP is getting ready to break out of this thing. It's a very clean formation, in my opinion. It looks like XRP has a ton of momentum to go to the upside after it breaks out. But we're just wrapping up this final consolidation at around the $3.11 range. Now, what's going to push XRP out the top of this, whether or not it is the XRP ETF, whether it's the official end of the Ripple SEC case when the judge finally signs off on things, who knows? But there is one massive catalyst going heavily under the radar right now that I think a lot of people are completely ignoring. But just taking a look at the XRP price chart, I mean, this thing looks absolutely phenomenal. XRP continues to show significant strength at its all-time high. And if we just zoom out and take a look at what I think is probably one of the most important price charts for everyone to be paying attention to, which is the monthly chart. I mean, this thing is a thing of beauty. It really does not get better than this for the XRP monthly chart. It's always so funny to me that technical analysts who are more I guess Bitcoin focused or Ethereum focused never pay attention really to XRP. I don't know a better price chart completely outside of focusing on any fundamentals that looks better than the XRP price chart. I mean, this thing is an absolute beauty. And what you can see is right now, the XRP price chart is just stacking a monthly candle on the previous all-time high. Guys, when you have a monthly chart that looks this good, this is where things get extremely exciting. XRP just continuing to put in higher candles on the monthly, breaking new highs on the monthly chart. Guys, this is going to translate to an extremely strong base at about the $3 mark, which is so important to see. Whenever you can have appreciation, but it's happening gradually, you're building strong bases, you're putting in monthly candles. That's the kind of sustainable price action we like to see, where I'm not overly that worried about this next pump being the last pump of this cycle. XRP's price is showing so much strength, so much stability, holding up, reconfirming these highs, retesting the all-time high. It's not some vertical line that looks like it's going to get popped and come crashing back down. Instead, it seems like we are having a lot of institutional price interest at these levels, and so many new people are coming in that it's really hard for the market to dip down in those volatile fashions we're used to seeing because so many people are coming in and buying the dip. That is only going to be amplified as we have larger financial institutions buying XRP for people's 401ks, for pensions, for all these different things we know the money is going to go to. This is consistent buy pressure that, in my opinion, is going to change the cryptocurrency market fundamentally and make it look a lot like the early tech bubble, or not the tech bubble, but the early rise of the technology companies like Amazon and Google, where, yes, there was dips along the way, but the overall chart on the zoomed out frame was up and to the right. With that said, I want to talk about a big catalyst here, which is the Bitcoin dominance chart. This is something I've been watching for a while. It was something that I said would come crashing down. Honestly, it took longer than I was expecting, but it looks like we could be at the midst of the start of this crash. Bitcoin dominance, let me tell you right now, market, you're not going to see Bitcoin dominance stay at 59%. There's just no way. Bitcoin is going to be an important part of the industry, but is it going to stay at 59% of the industry? Absolutely not. I think long term it goes to 10 to 15%. Right now, we see Bitcoin breaking down out of this channel, which is extremely positive. Bitcoin has been stuck in this upward channel for, since 2023, and it's just a really weird piece of price action. These things never last. They ultimately break. This one lasted much longer than I thought, but guys, it is breaking down. It is breaking out of here, and it looks like it's breaking down hard. This means more and more money is rotating out of Bitcoin into the other cryptocurrencies. And guys, when this thing falls, it falls violently. The last couple of times we've seen Bitcoin crash out of some kind of structure, we see that Bitcoin went on huge cascades downward. And guys, this could mean a huge move coming for things like XRP and some of the other altcoins in the market. But when Bitcoin really loses its trend in this Bitcoin dominance chart, it normally marks for a huge downside move as a huge flush of capital leaves Bitcoin into some of these other projects. I don't think it's any coincidence that as Bitcoin is breaking down out of this thing, right, we are also seeing XRP getting ready to likely put in a nice big candle and completely break free of those previous all-time highs. But guys, I want to finish this video off with one last quick little video here. This is actually someone on the Paul Barron show. I don't actually know who it is, but I thought what he had to say here was really interesting, and I agreed with a lot of it. So I wanted to share it with you. I thought it was interesting. I thought he had a really good perspective, especially when he talks about no one knows what's coming for XRP, because if it reaches the fundamental belief point that we think XRP can reach because of its adoption, because of its technology, because of what Ripple is doing, the sky's the limit for what XRP can do. And I think the way he breaks this down is super interesting, and I agree with a lot of it.
You know, you see people getting kind of backlash in regards to some of the outlandish or what seems outlandish price predictions that people throw around for XRP. The truth of the matter is, we don't know how big this monster is going to be.
That's exactly right.
If it achieves the goals that it set out to do, and there's every sign from the likes of the president just there that's going to be the case, people are way underestimating just the size of XRP because it's going to need that liquidity to enable all of this.
So guys, I think that's so well said. I completely agree. People often look at big price predictions for XRP and think, oh, that's stupid. It's wild. It's never going to happen. But the truth of the matter is it only comes down to your belief of what XRP can do. If you think XRP can be a financial backbone for the next generation financial system, guess what? It ain't going to be 10 bucks. And guess what? It will be significantly higher than a lot of people could ever forecast. The type of things we're seeing in the cryptocurrency industry, let me know one thing. Right now is nothing. We haven't seen anything yet in terms of what these future prices will be. And when we actually get the utility and the mass adoption, it's going to completely shake people's mind in terms of what is possible in terms of price appreciation of an asset. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. And for now, Mickle out.